welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hey, hello, my name is Meg and we do crafty things here. So if you like crafty things, please do consider subscribing. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning into another video and subscribing. So I thought we hadn't done a tutorial in a while, and one of you guys had asked me on one of my wrap-ups if we could do this diagonal rectangle bracelet, which is actually bracelet book number 23007. And I thought, you know what, it's quick, it's easy, why not? Let's do it. So for this tutorial, you're going to need 6 different colors of string. I am going to be using embroidery floss, but you can use yarn, whatever, hemp, whatever works for you. It will end up texture a little bit different. I use packs like this. You can get them at Walmart in singles. You can get them at any craft store really, or sewing store. I think they're like 50 cents a piece. All right, so I've already done one pass, like color pass of this pattern, just because it's easier to arrange out this many strings for a tutorial for you guys to see. Otherwise, they're all kind of bunched at the top with a knot, and if it was less strings, that'd be easier. But because there's so many, they just lay out a little bit nicer if I've already done a pass. So your 6 colors, as you can see here, 6 colors, yes. We have one that is your border color. So for this case, I've chose this maroon burgundy color, but on this other bracelet you can see, so you're a little closer, it's dark blue. And then there's, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors in the rectangles. So I've gone with a light pink, a medium pink, a dark pink, a light teal, and a dark teal. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so what you're going to need to do is, because I fold my strings in half, for each color you are going to need to cut one long string of each of your colors. So one long light pink, one long medium, one long dark pink, one long teal, one long dark teal. And then for your border color, you're going to need to do 2 long strings, and then you're going to need one that is half the length of your long string. And that's why you can see this little tuft up here in my loop. That's because it doesn't fold over. There isn't a double for that one. Okay, so once you've done that, you fold your strings in half, you tie your loop, tape it down, secure it down with your safety pin, whatever you like to do. And we're going to lay our strings out. So our first string is going to be one of our border color. So for me, that's the maroon. And then your next one is going to be whatever color you choose to go first in your pattern. So for me, I decided I was going to go kind of gradient wise through the pinks and then gradient wise through my teals. So that's a light pink for me. So whatever color you want first needs to be put out here now. Then we're going to do another border string. So another maroon. And then you're going to do your second light pink string. And then you're going to do your first medium pink string. So the first string of your second color of rectangles. And then you're going to do a border string. And then you are going to do the second string of your second color of rectangles. So for me, that's going to be this medium pink again. Then the first string of your third color of rectangles, which is going to be the dark pink, and then a border color. And you're going to continue like this until you have everything laid out. When you get to the end, you'll notice there isn't another border color to go between your dark teal on the end there. So you're just going to leave it light teal, dark teal, dark teal. So with this all laid out, you should have 1 color in between the border at the start and then 3 at the end. Everything else should have 2 strings in between a border color. So let's jump on in. Our first knot is going to be a forwards knot with our border color. And you make that that 4 shape and pull your string through. Not once, but twice on each string. So this is essentially a candy stripe row. If you don't know how to do a candy stripe, I will stick that up in the cards for you guys. Link it down in the description as well. But basically, search diagonal candy stripe or just candy stripe bracelet into the search bar and you will find a tutorial. You will find tons of tutorials on it. And you're going to do that all the way down to the last string. So again, that's the 4 shape on your string once. So 4, pull the string through, pull it tight, the 4 shape again, pull the string through, pull it tight, and you've completed a full forwards knot. Sorry for the noise in the background. My child is awake. So we're going to do that all the way across here. And I'm zoomed out a little bit so you guys can see, but if you are familiar with my tutorials, you know I kind of zoom out a bit so you guys can see, beginners specifically, can see what I'm actually knotting with my little fingers. And then we zoom in a little more so you guys can see a little more close up on the pattern, because I know some of you like to count the knots and know it that way, and then just listen for the instructions. So now I've got to my last string. I have not tied around that last string because we need to do a forwards backwards knot. So for the first half of the knot, we do our 4 shape as we have for all the last knots, and then we switch and do a backwards knot. So that's a backwards 4 or a sail shape, pull the string through, pull it tight. What this does is this actually puts our knotting string to the left of its base string instead of to the right. So you should have a dark teal on the end. And then we start into our next row where we actually take our second string in, so our border color, and we do a backwards knot around our rectangle color, so around our light pink. And that's the sail shape, pull it through once, pull it tight. Make a sail shape again, pull the loose end through, pull it tight. And then we're going to carry on with what was just our base string of that knot, so our light pink, and we're going to make 5 forward knots. So that's forward is 4 shaped. So there's 1 and a 2. And you will find when you get to the end of your 5th knot that the next string is your border color. So we pass one border string and we stop at the second one. Pretty simple. Then we're going to do another knot when we get there. Let's get there first, okay? So here we go. Here's number 5. Okay, so now we are at our border string, should be our next color in line. And we are going to switch our hold and we're going to knot with our border string, so that maroon color. And we're going to do a backwards knot again. So holding our light pink string tight, we are going to make a sail shape with our maroon color, pull the end through not once, but do that twice. Twice will complete a knot. Then your maroon color is on the left-hand side of your string, and you can carry on with that light pink string for another 5 forward knots. There's 2. 3, and remember we pass our first border knot. So this is a border color, but we don't want to stop and make a border there. We're just going to carry on. 4 and 5. Now we've reached a border color again. So this was the one that we did a forwards backwards with on our last row. And we're going to do a backwards knot with it around our light pink string, just like we did earlier. So that's our sail shape around the light pink string once, pull it tight, do it a second time. Then using our light pink string, we're going to do a forwards knot on that last string, which was our dark teal color. Okay, so we're going to zoom in a little bit here so you guys can get a better look at the pattern. Because now I think we've got all the knots down. We can go ahead and do that. So our first 2 strings here, as you can see, if you look above, this first knot is not a border color. So we're going to take our second string in and we are going to actually do a backwards forwards knot. And as I say this, I realize that I did not show you how to do this. So it's essentially the same as the forwards backwards, but opposite. So you do your backwards half of a knot first, so sail shape, pull it pull it tight, and then do a forwards knot so that your pink string ends up on the right-hand side of that burgundy or your border color. And then carry on doing your 4 forwards knots to make 5 light pink knots all together. So there's our 3rd light pink knot, our 4th, and finally our 5th. And now we have reached a border color again. So we are going to do a backwards knot, just like the last row, with our border color over our light pink color, essentially shifting that border color to the left of our knotting string so it's out of the way and we can carry on doing 5 forward light pink knots. That's the beauty of this pattern, is that, and all of your core patterns really, is that essentially all patterns are kind of based off of them. So this one is very heavily candy stripe dominated, which makes this really fun, but also quite easy for beginners to pick up. And it has enough of a different look that it's not the same old boring candy stripe that everyone knows. And of course, with this many colors, it's endless color combinations, and we love that. Okay, so now we've reached our border color again. We are going to do our backwards knot once more, nothing new here. And then we're going to take our light pink and we're going to do 2 more forwards knots over these last 2 strings. So our dark teal and our first pink string that we knotted with. Okay, so now taking a look at that, that is all you do for this pattern. I'll go through it one more time so you guys can see it. Essentially, this first line is all candy stripe until you reach that very last string. So it's all forwards knots. And then when you get to that last string, you are going to do a forwards backwards knot so that your border string is to the left of your last string there. Then you are going to start your next row with a backwards forwards knot, or sorry, just a backwards knot. My apologies. To move that border string to the left, keep it there. Then you're going to carry on with your rectangle color. So for me, at this point, this is the medium pink because our light pink strings have moved to the other side. We're not working with them anymore. It rotates. You know, that's how it works. And we're going to do 5 forwards knots with our medium pink color until we reach the second border string. Once we reach their second border string, at that point, we're going to take the border string and we're going to pull our medium pink tight, so it's the base, and do a backwards knot around it with that maroon burgundy color. And then continue on 5 forwards knots with our medium pink color. And what's kind of funny about this is the blue one. I don't know whether it was just a color combo, but I really love that blue one. And this one gives me a whole different vibe. And I think it's pretty cool that just changing the color combination on a pattern can really influence how you like a pattern. Like if I'd have done it with this, I'd been like, yeah, it's okay, but it's not my favorite. But because I did that blue pattern first, I was in love with this pattern. So I was more than happy to do a tutorial on it. Okay, now we've reached our border string. We are going to do a backwards knot with our border string around our medium pink string. And once we've got that in place, our medium pink is going to do 1 forwards knot over that light pink string. Pretty straightforward. Okay, let's do the second line of our medium pink, and then we'll get ready together here, tie it all off, and take a look at the finished product. So we are going to do a backwards forwards knot. So again, a sail shape, pull it tight, then a 4 shape, pull it tight. And then carry on 4 forwards knots with our medium pink string. So this does introduce some of the other knots as well, all of the other knots, but you only do them so seldomly that you don't have to have them like super mastered to do this pattern, which is what makes it so great for beginners. And it's also a chunkier bracelet, so it helps you start to be able to organize your strings better. Again, we hit this border color and we are going to do a backwards knot with it to get it out of the way. And then, you guessed it, 5 forwards knots with our medium pink color. Sorry for all the banging. Oh my gosh, could you be any louder? Then a backwards knot with our border color, and our dark pink figures out the row. It does, it figures out the row. Finishes it with medium pink. And then we're here. I've finished the length of this. This is going to be for my small gremlin that's making a bunch of noise right now. So it is much shorter. But I just did twisted ties on this. So if you guys don't know how to do a twisted tie, you split your strings in half and you roll them in your fingers in one direction and then wrap them around each other in the opposite direction. And because the strings try to pull apart in the opposite directions, it results in a twist that won't come undone. So I'm just going to keep doing that, and then I'm going to knot off the end here, just an overhand knot, nothing special. What are you doing? Just checking to see if they're kind of the same length. And yeah, knot it off and snip your little ends. Now I always want to leave, I see people leave long tassels all the time and I think it looks cool, but then when I do it, I don't think it looks as good. Anyways, here is our finished product. It's a really cute bracelet. It's pretty easy, and I hope you guys liked it. Until next time, bye.